Join me as I dive into the Marvel Rivals game and see if it's really worth your time. Can I uncover the truth behind the hype? In this video, you'll dive into Marvel Rivals, exploring its gameplay mechanics, character roster, and overall experience to determine if it lives up to the hype. There's a growing sense of skepticism among gamers about Marvel Rivals' ability to stand out in a crowded market of superhero games. Can it really hold its own against the likes of Spider-Man and Batman, Arkham Knight? That's a fair question, considering how saturated the market is with similar titles. It's only natural to wonder if Marvel Rivals brings anything new or innovative to the table. To be honest, I was pretty curious about it myself, which is why I decided to dive in and explore the game's features. One of the main concerns I had was the character roster. Would it be limited to just the Avengers, or would it include other Marvel heroes and villains? The answer is, it's a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, you get a decent number of playable characters, including some fan favorites like Spider-Man and the X-Men. On the other hand, some notable omissions left me feeling a bit underwhelmed. Another area of concern was the gameplay mechanics. Would it feel too repetitive, or would it offer a fresh take on superhero combat? Thankfully, the combat system is surprisingly engaging, with a good balance of melee combat and superpower abilities. It's not perfect, of course. Some of the level design feels a bit too linear, and the boss battles can get a bit too repetitive. But is it enough to make Marvel Rivals stand out from the rest? That's a question I'll get to in a bit. First, let's take a closer look at the game's features, including its graphics, controls, and multiplayer options. Visually, Marvel Rivals is a stunning game, with beautifully rendered character models and environments that really bring the Marvel Universe to life. The graphics are crisp and detailed, even during the most intense action sequences. In terms of controls, the game handles remarkably well, with responsive and intuitive buttons that make combat and exploration a breeze. One area where Marvel Rivals really shines is its multiplayer options. The game offers a robust PvP mode, where you can take on other players in epic battles. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're playing with friends or other Marvel fans. But how does it compare to other popular titles in the genre? In some ways, Marvel Rivals feels like a more polished version of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, with a more streamlined combat system and better graphics. On the other hand, it lacks the sheer scope and ambition of a game like Spider-Man. So, what are the most compelling aspects of Marvel Rivals that could either win players over or send them packing? For me, it's the sheer sense of fun and excitement that pervades the entire experience. The game is unapologetically comic book-y, embracing the over-the-top action and melodrama that defines the Marvel Universe. It's also worth noting that the game's developers have been actively listening to community feedback, patching out bugs and adding new content on a regular basis. That kind of commitment to the game's community is definitely worth recognizing. Of course, Marvel Rivals isn't perfect, it has its flaws and limitations. But despite those issues, I think it's a game that's definitely worth investing time in, especially if you're a Marvel fan. So, there you have it, that's my take on Marvel Rivals. Is it worth the hype? In my opinion, yes, but only if you're willing to overlook some of its more glaring flaws. Thanks for watching, and be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more gaming content.